Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, and today I'm going to share with you a very important element of my current spiritual practice. This talisman around my neck today, this crystal is black obsidian. It is a crystal of protection. It is here to protect me from dark entities, from psychic attacks, as when one steps into their truth, and they speak their truth, and they challenge the forces of darkness. Well, the forces of darkness are not going to like that too much. But the most dangerous force of darkness that it protects me from is the darkness not out there, but within me. You see, we are all storing unconscious trauma and triggers, and no matter how far along on the path, no matter how much work you have done, it will be a lifelong work digging up those demons that dwell deep within, that are eager for the moment to pull you back down into the depths of hell once you've reached the place of joy or even neutrality. And recently I had a great opportunity to face my own demons. See, all around the world and in my own sphere, we have lockdowns. We've had rules that have been put on us. And recently, a rule that absolutely made no sense to me was placed on gyms, demanding or mandating that masks be worn even when exercising. So, claiming to make a rule for the safety of people, but a rule that in and of itself is basically forcing people to engage in activity that is not safe. Hyperventilating, breathing in carbon dioxide, setting up a circumstance for people will easily pass out. And then again, gyms, an essential business for health in a time when health and wellness is really the big theme of the world that's been, I won't say its name because I want this video to stay up, but you all know what I'm talking about. So whenever I find myself throughout my life, when someone has wanted to put a rule over me, a mandate that worked against my well-being and made no sense to me, I felt the fire of anger burn in me. And much of the time I would lash out. And I would lash out in a way that was destructive and not good, not serving my highest good and not serving the highest good of anyone else. And again, I felt that anger surge, and immediately the drive to destroy, to rage, flared in me. But with my practice, one of the things this practice with this crystal, when I feel any sort of negative emotion start to flare up, I go and I touch this crystal and I breathe into it. And I ask, what is the message here? What is this telling me? And much of the time, this dark emotion will lead me to a memory of early life, of early childhood, and sometimes even to past lives. And the reaction is the negative emotion that is stored. In me, it is anger. The trigger is anger. The stimulus is rules and being told what to do, and me not feeling like I have a say in that, not having any sovereignty. And my reaction is rage. And so the opportunity when one steps into the path of sovereignty and finding their path and walking on the path of their highest good, the anger has a use. But what the question is how can this emotion be expressed for my highest good? Now, for those who have been in depression, anger actually serves to rise from the lower vibrations of depression and shame. And anger is a great catalyst which will burn as fuel that can elevate you to the higher vibration of neutrality. But when one is in a higher vibration, and neutrality or joy or peace and anger shows up in you, then it can potentially consume you and pull you back down into a state of victimhood, where you are consumed by rage, where you're constantly reacting to what forces outside of you are throwing at you. And that has been my pattern. So right now, the state of the world, we have polarization of light and dark, of yin and yang. And what I see, yin and yang are not good or evil in and of themselves, but they do have an evil version. And right now, the nurturing, consuming spirit of yin is in its evil form, where we have nurturing being expressed as control, being expressed as smothering. And we have governments of the world who are in the toxic, evil version of yin, smothering their people, smothering their sovereignty, attempting to. Now, the force of yang is the force of division. It's the fiery force of action and division. And the toxic version of yang is destruction, burning the world to the ground in chaos. But when we're called to balance, when we have the dark force of yin, we need a little bit extra yang. So that anger in me, that yang, that fire, right now I'm going into prayer and meditation and asking how that can be used to show up, to balance this evil force of yin that is smothering the spirits of humanity. And part of that is just speaking out, speaking to you right now. 2020 has been a wonderful opportunity for birth and awakening. And in fact, it was the birth of the shadow teacher. The shadow teacher arose from Jason Abraham to teach you about using the shadow, but more importantly, to teach me. The shadow teacher is to teach Jason Abraham what dwells within his shadow and bring that forth and confront it and deal with it and alchemize it into a greater good. And right now, no matter how dark the world gets, no matter how angry I get, I'm always committed to my path of sovereignty, my path of truth, and my path of connecting and inspiring other truth seekers and humans who are reaching, who are fighting for maintaining their sovereignty, and those of you who are coming out of the darkness, waking up, fighting to experience sovereignty for maybe the first time. So Jason Abraham, the shadow teacher, wishes you truth, wishes you peace, wishes you sovereignty. Use that shadow. Listen to it. What is it telling you? Use the darkness within you. Don't be controlled by it. No, step out of reacting and step into using that information and showing up for your highest good and for the highest good of everyone else on the planet. Peace.